weekend that is already proving so challenging. You have now 20 minutes to get your F1 fantasy teams locked in. I've done mine. Have you done yours?
I have.
I didn't realize I had to keep updating it, so I'm so far behind on the leaderboard.
You can make various changes each week. It's a nice excuse, though,
no,
for having fallen back in the
I didn't do
contest.
that. I just kind of kept it as it was.
How are we all doing?
And that's why I'm languishing at the bottom, but the fight back starts right now.
Have you gone, though, for drivers who you think are going to perform well, or have you gone for drivers?
So, yeah,
I've gone for a punt on a driver who I think at the over may even struggle to get into qualifying, because if he comes from the back and makes up those positions, he scores loads of points.
I don't really know what sort of quality we're running at right now.
I think I've just given away my game plan.
Really bad. Also, can you hear me? Because I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing.
It's Friday night qualifying.
I hope you can't hear the F1 TV. I'm not going to lie. I don't know if you can hear F1 TV in the background. Again, if you can, let me know, because I really don't know, and I don't know what I'm doing.
At the moment, the green flag turned on to open the pit lane in P1, but
do us a
we've
favor
been looking at the data, making
just
those
let me
final
know
changes, because
what's happening right now, because I don't know.
That's it for the
I
rest
really
of the weekend,
don't know what's happening.
Tire pressures and front wings.
Have we got anything? How are we all doing?
It's
Is
going to be an
everyone
exciting
good?
session.
Is everyone
tires,
how are we all feeling?
An additional qualifying session tomorrow.
I actually get to watch practice,
you've got to use 2 sets of
I
mediums
was at
and
work,
Q3,
so
which I expect you guys will.
with me being
the
at
soft
work,
tire as well. Then you've also got the sprint race. How is that?
Yeah, how are things looking?
Like, think about how you're going to use tires in this
who's
qualifying
looking good,
session.
who's looking bad? I don't really know. I've just seen that Ferrari seemed to do okay. Leclerc did not too bad. Red Bull are obviously looking strong because, well, they're Red Bull and we're used to them absolutely dominating now. So, yeah, who else did good? Like, Aston Martin seemed to have a bit of a quiet session. I don't really know what it was with Aston Martin. Did they just focus on long runs? Why were they like not up there like they usually are? And same with Mercedes, something similar with them. I assume they also did long runs. And yeah, I saw about Gasly, poor Gas man, his engine obviously going bang. I don't know if Alpine are going to make it into this session. If they do, that'd be great. I mean, I really hope they do, because yeah, they need to make some work. They've got some work to do if they're going to make this one work out. But yeah, just let me know, guys. Can you hear me? Can you hear what's in the background? Because I really don't know, and I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I can't stress this enough. I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Like, really don't know what I'm doing. I'm actually going to put it in the comments just to get an idea.
He may want to question that, and may want to question for how long he continues in the sport. Do you feel he's questioning his place in the sport, or for how long he'll continue, or is he just gaining a greater awareness that there is life beyond it, and when he moves into his 30s, which are still a long way off, he may want to do something else then?
I think the thing with Max, he'll always say exactly what he thinks, and I think he loves racing, he loves Formula One. I think the calendar on everybody is pretty demanding. Can he imagine himself doing this for the next 10 years?
Yeah, just do us a favor, let us know, because I don't know what I'm doing.
Probably not.
So what we have got then, we've got qualifying. This is going to be like a watch-along type session. So what do I mean by a watch-along? So what I'm going to be doing is I am going to have this on, obviously. We're going to have the live timings. I can't do anything else. I might try and get the track map up, but we only really have the live timings to go with for this. So the plan is to have qualifying on, have some live timing. If you guys want to say anything in the comments, do it. Let's interact. I'm up for having a chat, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. If we can have some fun, it should be fun. It should be fun. What's the worst that could happen here? I imagine it's actually quite terrible, and I've got the F1 TV audio coming through, but I don't really know if I do. And if I do have that, then I'll probably get banned. Yeah. So, who knows? Who knows?
drivers, they were both very happy with
right. Streaky Bacon, how are you doing, my friend? It's good to see you're here. You're always like around. You're always around. You're always commenting on my videos. It's really cool that you're here for this stream. Because yeah, it's cool to have you around because I know you do watch a lot of my videos. So how are you doing, man? You good? I hope you're good because well, yeah, I just hope you're doing really quite well.
From lap 1, the behavior and the car, and the balance of the car was much better than what we had before, and I think this is paying off.
Now we've got a new sprint format this weekend. I know we haven't raced it yet, but what do you make of the changes that F1 have made?
Okay, let me just do something real quick. I'm gonna open up the stream on something else and use that to see what we can hear, because I have no idea.
Relevant for the sport. That we have the FP1, but it's a good exercise for everybody.
Okay, good. You can hear F1 TV. That's not ideal. Let's mute that. Now you can't hear F1 TV, so now I can't get into trouble. Ah, you could have told me that. I had no idea. Right. Good. Right. Thank you, Clifford. Thank you so much. I'm glad you can hear me. I didn't realize you could hear F1 TV in the background. That was potentially quite bad. So, right, good, sorted. Yeah, how are you doing, Clifford? You good? You ready for qualifying? How's your day been? Good. Glad to hear you're good, Streaky Bacon. Always good to see that you're doing well. Also, I love that you, like I've said before, like I just really appreciate that you always are there with my videos. You're like always watching, always commenting. I can rely on you. If everyone else falls down, Streaky, I can at least always rely on you to comment. Right, yes. So, for those who are wondering, am I prepared for this? No, is the answer. I'm really not prepared. I not really... Yeah, I was like looking, I was like, do you know what? I really want to stream. I really want to get into streaming. But Steven Seagal, come on, Streaky Bacon's good. You're not a fan of Streaky Bacon? Do you like bacon? Are you a meat man? Are you a vegan? Are you a vegetarian? Come on, what's wrong with bacon? Bacon's good, unless you're vegan or vegetarian, obviously. Or, I guess, halal and can't eat bacon. Anyway, as I was saying, yes, so this is really underprepared, as you can tell. I am hoping and praying that the live timing works, because I've got no idea. So hopefully that works, and if it does, then excellent. If not, this is more of like a test stream, because I do want to get into streaming. So I want to get into doing some streaming. I want to be live with you guys, because it's going to be a lot of fun to do this live, because obviously I like to do my data analysis videos, and doing data analysis videos is a lot of fun, but I just want to go live. I want to talk with you guys live. I want to go through sessions live with you guys, so you can see what's happening on track, get an idea of what's happening, and just do it all live. And, oh, it does look like it's worked. Oh, good. Right. Excellent. So we've got, what have we got? We have got the live timing. That's good. Okay, that's really good. That is better than what I was expecting. I was not really expecting that to work. So it seems like we've got some form of live timing, which is really good. I'm glad to see. Glad to see we got some live timing. Yes, excellent. Thank you. I am glad you'd like to hear my input during live races, because I got so much I want to say. And 10-minute videos, you can't say enough. And it's really annoying. 10, 12-minute videos. Now, I know some people are like, well, why don't you just do longer videos? I don't do much longer videos because it, number one, takes forever to actually create these videos. Especially when you're getting all the data. And secondly, I do all this on my own, and I've literally only just started getting to a point where I can make money from YouTube, and even though I do make money, the amount of money I make is like not much, so I can't really do much more than that. yeah, so that's why I want to do these streams. Chill with you guys. Talk about what we see on track as it happens. That's so cool, right? That's one of the good things, I think, with the modern world. We can do these sort of things. Yeah, so practice. What did we learn from practice? We learned that from practice, the circuit is tricky. It's very tricky. They only have one session, which is insane. They had one session in which they had to learn the entire circuit with the new surface. It's a new surface this year, which I didn't talk about in any previous videos, because when I made the videos, I didn't know it was a new surface. It's a new, smoother surface. We've seen some critical errors. We saw Tsunoda hit the wall. We saw Carlos Sainz hit the wall. He turned into the wall, which was a bit of an interesting one. We've seen... What else have we seen? We saw, of course, Gasly, Gasman. His Renault power unit decided that it was going to go and join the French in going on strike and going on fire, because that's what the French like to do when they strike. They like to set things on fire. And we also learned that Ferrari have a good car this weekend. It seems like, based on practice, Ferrari are in a very strong position. We don't really know what's happening with Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso right now, because, of course, they haven't really done that many fast lap times. I think Alonso had a DRS issue. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. In free practice. So we didn't get to see the best of Fernando Alonso, which is a bit of a shame. Mercedes were just doing long runs from what I gather. So with them just doing long runs and just doing long laps after long laps, we didn't get to see Mercedes put in some fast laps. So it's going to be interesting to see what they can do, because it looks like they actually have quite a draggy rear wing. They do have like a lowish downforce, but with that swoop in the rear wing, it does add drag to their car. So it does seem like they've got a bit of a draggy car, but good downforce. And that will definitely at least help them in the race. Not sure what will happen in qualifying. We didn't get to see them do a fast lap, so it's going to be interesting to see what Mercedes can do. Basically, long story short, we've got no idea what's going to happen in this qualifying session. I think we could see some chaos in this session. Now, I don't know how delayed I am between what you guys see live and what is actually going to be on YouTube. So, again, that's something that we're going to learn as this session goes on. Don't really know what the latency is. Don't really know what, sort of delay we've got. I hope it's not a big delay. But I guess we will see. And we'll only find that out when the session starts. Because when I say that I've not really prepared for this, I've really not prepared for this. I literally spent like half of yesterday just going... Well, not half of yesterday, like an hour or two yesterday, whilst my girlfriend was doing something else. Like, let's try and set this up so I can actually do it. And then I was at work today, got back because I did a half day, and then I was like, do you know what? Let's just do it. Let's just do it. Let's go live. Let's see what happens. And I've got no idea if this is going to work properly or not. I'm really hoping it works. I'm glad that I've at least got the multi-viewer to work. So we've got the live timings for all 20 drivers. Unfortunately, that's the best I can do. I can't show any of the footage. I can't play any of the audio, so hopefully I've not got the audio now playing. So I'm actually just going to put live on a side stream that I've got of this, just to try and get an idea. So let's see if we've got audio. So I'm actually just going to put live on a side stream that I've got of this, just to try and get an idea. So let's see if we've got audio. Hey, that's good. That's good. So we haven't got F1 TV playing in the background, so we don't have to worry about F1 TV or F1 going, nope, you can't stream anymore, and striking me down just as I'm getting going, given I've got no idea what I'm doing. Tom, thank you. I'm glad you're saying I'm doing great so far, because I am literally just winging it. I'm unprepared for this. I'm definitely more prepared for my videos than I am for this. How you doing, Tom? You doing well? Ooh, that's interesting. So they are actually just showing right now on F1 TV. They are showing what happened to the Alpine. So like I said, I was at work when practice was on. I kind of had it on my phone, but not really. So I didn't really get to see the damage to the Alpine. And, ooh, that's a big fire. That's a huge fire in terms of what... Like, obviously coming out the back, there's not that much, but there's so much smoke there coming out the airbox that is interesting. Who do I think will get pole, Arthav? I want to say Charles Leclerc, because based on practice, Charles Leclerc did absolutely brilliant. But, let's be honest, were Red Bull really pushing? That we don't know. We didn't see qualifying laps by the Aston Martins, and Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes and George Russell didn't do fast laps. So, Ferrari's looking good right now, and I really want to say Charles. Don't get me wrong, I really want to say Charles. But it's probably going to be Max Verstappen, let's be honest. Unless there's an issue for Red Bull. We've got to remember Red Bull's had a lot of reliability issues so far this year. So, it'll be interesting to see if they have some issues going forward. But I think in a straight fight, I'd probably say Max Verstappen's going to get it. But you cannot discount Ferrari this weekend. Ferrari, all season long, have had a very efficient car in a straight line. And once again, with this circuit having such a long straight, and they've got good downforce, they're going to be in the fight with Red Bull. And we saw that in practice. So there is a chance Charles could get pole. I'm going to live on that Charles getting pole. I'm going to use that for copium to try and pray and hope that he does get it. I think Max will get it, but I really want Leclerc to get pole. And I think we all really want Leclerc to get pole, or Fernando Alonso, or Lewis Hamilton. Even if you are a huge Max Verstappen fan, you've got to want someone else to get pole. Because Red Bull being on pole every single race, it's a bit of a drag, and it makes my videos less interesting, because I'm like, well, previewing predictions, who's going to get pole? It's going to be a Red Bull, and what a huge surprise that is to nobody. So, yeah, I am going to try and actually say, yeah, you know what? Charles Leclerc could get pole position here today. Which would be great. I like I said, I really hope that. McLaren was interesting as well. Obviously, I had Norris in 5th place in practice, which... I mean, McLaren's not looked like they would be up there all season long. McLaren in practice, I don't know where that came from. I really don't know where that came from for them, because they had an excellent... sorry, I just need to change to the international feed. Yeah, that's on mute. Excellent. So, yeah, I mean, McLaren, they had an excellent session. That's the best McLaren have been all year. And, whoa, that is cloudy. Oh, wow, they've just gone onto it live, and that is a very cloudy-looking Baku. That's interesting. So the clouds are really low, because it's right there in the skyscrapers. Anyway, sorry, I'm getting distracted. Yeah, McLaren, that's the best they've been all year. McLaren so far this year have not featured in F1 2023. I mean, yeah, literally, it's being transformed like a transformer truck into an F1 car. That is so right. You've hit the nail on the head. Like, the first few races, they were shocking. Now, I remember saying at the time around Bahrain that I expected them to be like that, because they were last year as well. But they just continued being shocking after that. I mean, in Australia, okay, they got some good points, but they only got good points because Alpine started a civil war and Carlos Sainz nearly took out Fernando Alonso. Like, that is the only reason McLaren did so well in Australia. But this weekend, they actually look like they belong up there in the midfield fight with Alpine. Although, again, when you look at these practice times, you had Nick De Vries up in 6th place. And Nick De Vries, another driver that has not featured at all in 2023. And yet, there he is in P6. So, who knows what's going to happen in this qualifying session. I am excited for this qualifying session. If you guys are excited, I would greatly appreciate it if you guys just hit the like button. Because this is going to be a good session. Like, this is going to be such a good session. One practice session, okay, Verstappen topped it. You would think that's boring, but practice was anything but a straightforward session. It was chaotic. So, we're going to see something interesting in this session. we are going to see something like, we are going to see a cars up there where they wouldn't normally be. We're going to see more mistakes, I think, than usual because they haven't had time to get dialed into this circuit. The grip's probably quite low. So, yeah, let's get going. Qualifying is about to get underway. I'm excited. I hope you guys are excited. This is my first ever live stream. And qualifying for my first ever stream is about to get underway. You can see Pierre Gasly coming out of the pits. So they have managed to replace his power unit. So thank God for Gasly. They've repaired the... Well, not repaired the power unit. They've changed the power unit, I should say. And we have got Gasly taking part, which is great for him because otherwise he'd have been at the back of the grid for the Grand Prix. Thank you. I'm attempting... So that's a good point. You said I should do this every weekend. I'm hoping to do this every weekend. I'm hoping to be live again tomorrow for sprint race. And maybe the sprint shootout as well. After this stream, I am going to go off. We're going to do a data analysis video for everything that we've learned on Friday. So what we learned from practice, what we learned from qualifying, and what we can maybe use to try and learn for sprint and also the Grand Prix. So I'm going to be doing that after this stream. And then tomorrow, I'm hoping to also be live for sprint as well. And I'm hoping for it to be a little bit more set up than this is, because this is a real bootleg setup. I am not prepared for this. So I'm hoping tomorrow to be a little bit more prepared. But yeah, after this stream, I'm going to get straight on with data analysis for you guys, so we can get that out hopefully tonight, if not first thing tomorrow morning. Get the data analysis set. And then, yeah, hopefully tomorrow we're going to go live for sprint as well. Now, I haven't got sound on F1 TV right now because, like I said, this is a very bootleg last-minute setup. So, we haven't got, I haven't got the audio on, so I don't really know what anyone's going to be talking about. I'm hoping tomorrow I'm going to have it set up properly so that I can at least have some audio on. Because right now, I am driving blind. I've got no idea what's going to happen. I've got no commentary to help guide me as well. So whatever David Croft says, whatever... I don't know who the other Sky commentator is this weekend. I'm going to assume it's Martin Brundle. Whatever they say, you're going to have to tell me because I don't know. And I don't know what F1 TV is saying either. So I don't know what the likes of Alex Jake's saying. And Jolyon Palmer and whoever else they've got in the comms box this weekend. Anyway, qualifying is underway. The cars are out on circuit. How good does it look? I love Baku, man. Baku is a mental circuit. Like, it's crazy that they race around these circuits, these streets, I should say. Now, the racing in Baku is not always the best, in my opinion, but it's a fun race. It's always a fun race. You've always got chaos. And with only having one practice session this weekend, the grip on the surface is going to be a little bit lower. The drivers are not going to be dialed in. They're not going to have the perfect setup that they want for this session. We're going to see more mistakes, and we're going to see, I think, one or two drivers in the wall here today. I really do think we're going to see a couple of drivers in the wall. We can see right now we've got the Alfa Romeo there, warming his tyres up, getting ready for his run. We've also got the Alfa Tauri just in front of him there. Backing off, getting ready to open up a lap. We go on board now with the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. I haven't got a clue if you guys are in sync with me or not, but right now we're on board with the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. You can see, thankfully, with the new surface, there's not much porpoising. There's not much bouncing like we saw last year. It's a much smoother surface, which means that for Lewis Hamilton, he doesn't have to worry about having a broken spine at the end of the Grand Prix. And there we go into turn 2. On the exit of turn 2, Hamilton's so close to the wall there. Opens up the DRS now down the straight. There's only 2 DRS zones at Azerbaijan. This is the second DRS zone. The other DRS zone is, of course, down that very, very long straight. Now, an interesting point, which I haven't made yet. The DRS zone down the pit straight is shorter than it was last year. Now, what I was about to say was the racing at Azerbaijan's not always the best. We've already got a yellow sector 1. Who is that? Who's caused the yellow in Sector 1? Let's get the track map open. Don't really know. It's gone back green, so whoever it was, it's fine now. They've gone back green. Yeah, so sorry, what I was about to say before I got distracted. Yeah, the DRS zone is 100 meters shorter this year down the pit straight. We don't see too much overtaking typically at Azerbaijan, but the racing's always a lot of fun because, well, it's just mental racing around this circuit. And so with that, I don't know if we're going to see a little bit less overtakes this year. I have a feeling we probably will. Hamilton there really close to the wall. But I do think we may see a little bit less overtaking in the main Grand Prix. I'm hoping with sprint we could see some drivers maybe pushing a little bit harder and maybe see some more racing in the sprint. But it'll be interesting to see what happens with the main Grand Prix. Anyway, here comes Hamilton now on the run to the line. There's the DRS activation zone, so as you can see, it is a bit shorter than it was last year. Hülkenberg goes fastest with a 1:44, only to be displaced by Hamilton with a 1:43.67. Magnussen goes ahead there of Nico Hülkenberg. So the battle between the Haasers, it is so far Magnussen ahead of Hülkenberg. Ocon goes third. Albon goes first in the Williams. Alexander Albon, where the hell did that come from? He's up ahead of Lewis Hamilton. That is very interesting. Williams are very fast in a straight line. Bottas now goes ahead of the Mercedes. So were Mercedes just doing a preparation lap? Probably, because yeah, Sargent now P4. There's no way that Mercedes weren't doing a preparation lap there. So I am watching this in my flat, so it might be a bit echoey. I apologize if it's echoey. But I've got F1 TV on if you're wanting to ask about that. But if you're asking about the echo, I'm doing it in my flat. And like I said, I'm really not prepared. We got a Ferrari there. Was that... What happened there? Sorry, I was too busy answering Mark. I actually missed what happened there. Was that a Ferrari going into the pits? We got a McLaren 1-2. Perez up to third now. Bottas fourth. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 2. What's happened there then? The yellow flag... Oh, sorry. I've got it on F1 TV right now. I'm using multi-viewer to help with the live timing. So the live timing that you can see, Mark, that is from F1 Multiviewer. F1 Multiviewer is a free platform for you to use, but in order to use F1 Multiviewer, you need to have an F1 TV account. So I've personally got an F1 TV account. How have I got it? Through the wonderful world of VPNs and maybe slightly illegal means. So I've got a VPN, so I'm connected technically to America. That gives me access to buying an F1 TV subscription, which means that I can use F1 Multiviewer, and F1 Multiviewer is what you guys can see with the live timing on the screen right now. I was hoping to have the track map up as well, but as I said before, I'm really not prepared for this, so the track map hasn't loaded up, and I'll try and get that sorted out for tomorrow. Anyway, right now, back to this. We've currently got Verstappen leading with a 141.8, Charles Leclerc behind on a 142.1, and then the two McLarens. McLaren have entered the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Fernando Alonso goes third fastest behind Charles Leclerc by some distance. That is not good. That is a long gap there to Charles Leclerc for Fernando Alonso. That's going to be interesting to see where Aston Martin... And Joe spins! Does he hit the wall? Did Joe just hit the wall there? It's a slow-mo. Is he going to hit the wall? Come on, don't do the slow-mo. Oh, it cut out. Who knows? I don't think he hit the wall there. Oh, and then the Alfa Romeo on the exit there. Very close to the wall. Little bit snap of oversteer there. That is a good place to hit the wall on the F1 game. I can assure you I've done that multiple times. Anyway, now here we go. Back to the live action. Alfa Romeo there having a bit of a mare. And we go now to the onboard of Carlos Sainz. As Carlos Sainz is opening up a lap then. Sainz must have been the one that went into the pits. I did see a Ferrari driver go into the pits and I didn't know who it was. It must have been Carlos Sainz. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. That's Nick De Vries. Nick De Vries, is he in the wall? He is! De Vries is out of qualifying. That is the first punterino into the wall. It's Nick de Vries. We got a McLaren off as well. And surely that's going to be a red flag. That has got to be a red flag in Q1. It is red flag. Nick de Vries in the wall, throwing it all away. Oh, that's a good point. It might give me a copy. It shouldn't do, because it is the track map that I'm using is through multiviewer, in the same sense that the live timing is also through, easy for me to say, through multiviewer. So I shouldn't get any strikes for that. But that's a good point. I might not use it just to play on the safe side. Thank you for saying that. And there's de Vries. De Vries just locked up and straight into the scene of the accident. That is a disaster for de Vries. Let's see what happened then. So opens up the DRS. Here he goes down the straight. Nick de Vries down the straight. Does he lock the inside or the outside? Inside lockup, straight into the wall. Nothing he could do there. Well, actually, no, there is something he could have done. Nick de Vries there, I think, if he... Hard to say, but de Vries there probably should have gone down the escape runoff. But with him being a rookie, I guess, in Formula 1, it's... Yeah, you don't really learn those sort of things until you've done it in F1. But yeah, de Vries there probably should have gone down the runoff. We did see a McLaren go down the runoff. He did what de Vries should have done. But de Vries tried to make the corner and went straight into the wall. What are we all thinking about Nick de Vries, by the way, guys, so far this year? What are your opinions on de Vries? Is anyone impressed with him? That might be a bit mean. But yeah, is anyone actually impressed with what Nick de Vries has done so far this year? I mean, the AlphaTauri has not been a strong car. Or at least we're led to believe the AlphaTauri is not a strong car this year. Now, I say we're led to believe that because I think back to the last couple of years where Yuki Tsunoda has been quite thoroughly beaten by Pierre Gasly. And now Yuki Tsunoda is the top driver in AlphaTauri and he's barely getting points. Would the AlphaTauri be able to get points if Pierre Gasly was in the seat or someone a little bit better, like maybe a Liam Lawson? Don't really know, but yeah. What are your guys' thoughts so far on Nick de Vries this year? Personally, I've been very unimpressed. Now, of course, Nick de Vries did do very well at Monza last year for Williams. However, you have to take into account that Monza was Williams' strongest circuit all year. So, you know, yes, he got points in the Williams, but it was the best race for Williams all year. And his teammate was the great Nicholas Latifi. So hardly some competition. But yeah, I think so far this year, de Vries has really struggled with the AlphaTauri. And I do wonder what AlphaTauri could be like if they had Pierre Gasly still in that seat. Like, I do think there is a chance that that AlphaTauri could have scored a lot more points this year with Gasly. I mean, de Vries making debris again. Yes, Tom. Exactly. De Vries making debris. Yeah, I feel for him. I do feel for him, but I think he probably should have stayed in Formula E. I think he made a bit of a mistake leaving Formula E and coming to Formula 1. God, he really did hit the wall there. Are they going to have to change the entire Tech Pro there? Because the Tech Pro has come off with the car itself, so that's interesting. And we can also see Red Bull are doing, is that a headrest change, for Max Verstappen. I'm assuming for Verstappen there, he's probably got a bit of discomfort, so they're probably adding a bit of foam, I would assume, to try and make it a little bit more comfy for Max Verstappen, who is right now sitting pretty in first place, 2 tenths ahead of, well, I was going to say main rival, but I guess he's not really main rival anymore, is he? Charles Leclerc in the Ferrari, with his probably real main rival, Fernando Alonso, down in third place. Ooh, that's interesting. We've got a track dominance here between Verstappen and Leclerc so far. And this is very interesting. Leclerc is having most of the domination down the pit straight. Or down, well, through Sector 3, through turns 17, 18, 19, 20, and down the pit straight, that was showing Leclerc as circuit domination. And also through the tight and twisty corners. It's just at the braking zones, it looks like, where Verstappen is stronger. That's very interesting. That is very, very interesting. Because that tells me that Verstappen... So, Lou Diego, sorry to ask again, but where do you watch the qualification? So, I have F1 TV. So, what I'm doing is I'm using F1 TV to watch the qualifying right now. In the UK, where I'm based, we have Sky F1. Sky has the sole rights to Formula 1. But because I'm using this through a VPN, so I'm connected to America, I have access to F1 TV. And because I have F1 TV, it also means I have access to multiviewer, which is what you guys can see right above me. And with F1 TV, with F1 multiviewer, I can have access to the track map, the live timing, and also use F1 TV to watch the session, which is what I'm doing here today. So you guys can see the live timing. I can't show you F1 TV itself. I can't show you any of what's actually happening. As we see DeFree create some debris once again. I can't show you any of that, unfortunately, because F1 will strike me down and I will get a copyright strike. Azav, sorry, how do you pronounce your name, by the way? Oh, really? Really? You don't have it on French TV? You guys... so French TV right now is not showing qualifying. Is that what you're trying to say? That's insane if they are. Because they are... That's crazy. Sorry. Track dominance is exact opposite as last year between Leclerc and Verstappen. Yes, that's correct. Actually, in one of my preview videos, I did talk about this. Last year, track dominance here at Azerbaijan, Red Bull were faster everywhere except in all of the braking zones. And this year, it looks like it's the opposite. Interesting that they've done that. That Ferrari's maybe opting for a slightly lower downforce. Because they're opting maybe for lower downforce because the Red Bull is so fast. Because the Red Bull is so fast. No worries, man. No worries. Happy to help. Because the Red Bull's so fast this year, they can probably opt to put on a bit more downforce, and they're still fine. That's probably all I can imagine. With their very powerful DRS system, and just their general straight line speed performance, that's what I'm imagining, is why we're seeing what we are seeing. I missed your previous question, which was, can we see a fight between Max and Charles? Yeah. Will we see a fight between Charles and Max this year? Not sure. Ooh, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Race control incident involving car number 1. Max Verstappen noted for releasing in an unsafe condition. Unsafe condition? What the hell is that? I'm assuming the unsafe condition is... Oh, Tsunoda! So close to the wall there. Sorry. The unsafe condition, I'm assuming, is his headrest. Because we did see Red Bull, during the red flag period, changing Verstappen's headrest. Now, I wonder if that means that his headrest was broken when they sent him out. Not sure what they'll do about that. I imagine they'll probably give him a reprimand or something like that. Anyway, sorry, to finally answer the question, will we get a Verstappen and Charles Leclerc battle this year? Later in the year, yes, but I think we need to see some different circuits. We're not going to see it here, I don't think. I think Red Bull's too fast in a straight line, unfortunately, here in Baku. But Ferrari are getting stronger. it does look like Ferrari are getting better and better, and I'm very interested to see where Ferrari's going to be at Imola. Miami, of course, next. Miami probably should suit Verstappen very nicely, but Imola could be very interesting. I think we could see Ferrari back in the hunt at Imola, personally. Right, sorry. Can we watch it for free illegally? You can find some streams. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to tell you where those streams are, but you can find them. If you've got AceStream, for example, you can probably find some codes on AceStream, but I'm not going to, again, point you in those directions because it's wrong for me to do so. Please don't put any links in the stream, if you don't mind. Please don't put any links in the stream. I will remove any links that come into the stream. I don't have any mods or anything because, like I said, this is my first time doing it. But I will personally remove any links that we get. Murky's coming. Mercedes is getting stronger each race. Not gonna lie, I've been very impressed with Mercedes' move forwards so far this year. Bahrain was shocking. Bahrain, they were... Okay, why do we have a red flag? Sorry, missed it. We have a red flag, Satakashi, because Nick DeVries binned it. He absolutely steamed into the wall at turn 3. He locked up, tried to make the corner instead of going down the runoff, and hit the wall. And that is why we are right now under a red flag. Hopefully we'll get the session back underway soon, but it does look like we have to... the marshals have to replace the Tech Pro barrier. So obviously with them repairing Tech Pro barrier, Tech Pro repairs take forever. So with them doing that, that's probably why we're going to have quite a lengthy red flag period. Watch, you'll see Merc in its own league. Yeah, back to what I was saying with Mercedes. Mercedes has improved a lot so far this year. Obviously in Bahrain, they were the 4th fastest car in Bahrain. In Saudi Arabia, they were the 3rd fastest car. And in Australia, Mercedes was probably the 2nd fastest car overall. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate that. If this is your first time streaming, then you're doing a great job. Thank you so much. It is my first time ever streaming. And I'm really unprepared, so I really appreciate you saying that I'm doing a great job. That means a lot to me. How long until DR, I'm assuming that's Daniel Ricciardo, replaces DeVries? Don't see it, personally. I don't see Daniel Ricciardo replacing DeVries. Daniel Ricciardo, if he comes back to F1... wants to be in a team that's a bit higher up the grid. We got track clear. Qualifying to resume at 17:24. So qualifying will resume in 3 minutes, everyone. Anyway, Daniel Ricciardo, I don't think will replace DeVries because I don't see Ricciardo wanting to sit in... Thank you so much. I appreciate you subbing. That means a lot to me, Bill. Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't see Ricciardo replacing Tsunoda because Ricciardo doesn't want to be in a lower down team. I think I remember reading that somewhere that he doesn't really want to go back into one of those sort of seats. He'd rather be somewhere at the front, which basically means Daniel Ricciardo's probably never coming back because I can't see Red Bull putting Daniel Ricciardo in their car, even if Perez drops off, just because of how badly... he performed in the McLaren, but of course, if he does really well in the simulator, who knows, he may come back. I personally think we may see Liam Lawson replacing Nick DeVries at some point later in the year. There's a great video, by the way, guys, on Twitter right now with Liam Lawson doing an absolute insane dive bomb into the Casio Triangle chicane at Suzuka whilst he's racing in Super Formula. So, guys... you should check that out and you might be impressed and see why I think maybe Liam Lawson could be AlphaTauri's next driver. And I think he'll replace De Vries probably by like mid-season. Leclerc running good. Brace for Ferrari strategy. Patrick, please don't say that. Please don't say brace for Ferrari strategy. I am not in the mood for that. I don't want to see Ferrari screw Leclerc over. He's had a bad season so far this year, with Ferrari absolutely destroying him in terms of like reliability. And, of course, Leclerc making silly mistakes himself in... Oh, no. Someone's calling me. I will be back in a second. I'm assuming that was the wrong number, because they've all of a sudden stopped calling me. Right, yes. So, yeah, Leclerc's had a bad run so far this year. I mean, he's made some silly mistakes. Let's be honest here. He made a very silly mistake in, where was it he made the mistake? In Australia with Lance Stroll. But in Saudi Arabia, for example, Leclerc was absolutely shafted by Ferrari. They probably should have done the soft medium strategy, because when he was on soft, he was faster than Sainz, and he was still faster than Sainz even once he got into clear air. And yeah, they kind of shafted him on that one. Allison, Wolff, and Hamilton will burn the competition. Dab on that one. Yes, I mean, look, Mercedes are improving. With James Allison coming back to have more of an input on the car, it'll be very interesting to see if that results in Mercedes moving forward. So, yeah, I mean, who knows? We've got a few races, I think, before we're due to maybe see a huge upgrade on Mercedes. And I'm very excited to see what this huge upgrade is that Mercedes actually have. Sainz might leave Ferrari this year. Where will he go? Where will Sainz go if he leaves Ferrari? I'm interested. What's your thoughts on that? Where will he go? Would he go to Alpine, do you think? But why would he go to Alpine? Because they are, at least right now, quite happy with Gasly and Ocon. Would he go to Red Bull? Do you think he'd go to Red Bull? Do you think if they ousted Sergio Perez, they'll maybe put Carlos Sainz in the seat? And we'll get a Toro Rosso reunion with Verstappen and Sainz? Let me know, what's your thoughts? Where do you think Ferrari will go? Where Ferrari will go. Where Sainz will go if he does leave Ferrari. Verstappen, Russell, Alonso. That's interesting. I actually said that in my preview and predictions. That would be the podium. I'm not too sure about that now because Ferrari are looking strong. But of course, we're yet to see if tyre wear is going to play a factor in this weekend because Ferrari have been harder on their tyres so far this year. And last year, tyre wear did play a factor in this race. But yeah, I mean, Verstappen, Russell, Alonso is very possible provided George doesn't catch fire again. We'll do a stream. Yes, I'm intending to do a stream for Sprint and the Grand Prix itself. I'm hoping I'll be a little bit more prepared tomorrow. I've actually learned a lot doing this stream today, so I'm hoping that tomorrow, if I do stream, which I'm hoping to do, that it'll be a lot better. I'm also, Bill, I am also planning on releasing a video right after, well, not right after qualifying. After qualifying, I am going to be doing, oh, we got an Alpine in the wall. And that's another red flag. Oh, who's that? Is that Gasly? Gasly's in the wall. Pierre Gasly is in the wall. He's ripped the entire rear end off. That is disastrous for Pierre Gasly. The rear wing is broken. The rear suspension is broken. The front right is broken. Pierre Gasly is out of qualifying. And his race is now gonna be a lot harder. What a disaster for Pierre Gasly. In practice, he was on fire. And now he has smashed into the wall. Pierre Gasly out of qualifying along with Nick de Vries. That is 2 cars that are not going to make it through to Q2. That is a lot of damage on the Alpine. That's a rear suspension, a rear wing, completely shattered. What happened then with Pierre Gasly? I have a feeling he got a snap of oversteer on the exit of turn 3. Let's have a look. Goes in. No, he goes straight understeers into the wall and ruins the car. That is, oh, that's a big hit. That's a very big hit. And I have a feeling they're going to have to repair the Tech Pro barrier once again. Yeah, just ran a little bit wide. Couldn't slow the car down. And Pierre Gasly smashes into the wall and is out of qualifying. I'm right now going to actually make a tweet saying that I'm live for qualifying because I just realised I haven't actually done that. Let's take a look. Oh, Sainz spins it. Sainz spins it at the exit of turn 1 there. That was... he just dropped it there going into turn 1. Sorry, on the exit of turn 1 there. Carlos Sainz getting a little bit trigger happy on the loud pedal just before the red flag comes out. What was I saying? Yeah, sorry. So my plan. My plan is we're going to live stream qualifying now. Then when qualifying has finished, I am going to be making a data analysis video based on what we learned in practice and from this mental qualifying session. I thought we'd get 3 red flags. We've already got 2 and we've not even finished Q1 yet. Yeah, so I'm going to be doing a data analysis video based on what we learned on practice and qualifying. And I'm hoping to get that out tonight, if not very early tomorrow. And then tomorrow, we are going to be live streaming, hopefully, the sprint shootout, the sprint qualifying, and then the sprint race itself. And then after sprint race, I'm going to be doing a data analysis video based on what we learned on sprint to see what we can learn for the Grand Prix on Sunday. So guys, if you haven't already, I just want to do a bit of shilling. Hit the subscribe button and hit the like button if you are enjoying this stream so far. Now, I am going to just make a tweet that I forgot to make before I went live. So, yeah, we got another red flag then. Someone just asked me a question. Can Gasly still score points like Bahrain? Hard to answer. Hard to answer, to be honest. Baku is a lot harder to overtake. Unlike Bahrain. Bahrain's statistically the easiest circuit on the calendar to overtake. Baku is certainly not statistically the easiest circuit to overtake on. Overtaking at Baku is actually very, very challenging, despite the very long straight. So, it's going to be hard for Gasly to get some points. He might get 1 point. It depends on what happens. It depends on the chaos. It depends if there's absolute chaos. But yeah, Alpine's severely lacking data right now. What are these yellow lines beside every driver? That is, so all of those yellow lines, blue lines, green lines, purple lines, those are all the mini sectors. So as you can see, it's broken up into 3. So you've got like one set, a slight gap, and then a bigger set, and then a slight gap, and then another set. All those yellow lines are mini sectors. So basically what the sectors have done, they're broken up into 3, and then within those 3 sectors, there are what they call mini sectors. And the mini sectors are based on data from that goes between each marshal post. Each marshal post being every however many meters it is. I don't really know, unfortunately. Therefore, you get very detailed information. This is more detailed than what you get on F1 itself when you're watching it on TV, because we know now every little inch where the driver's faster. We don't just know, obviously, when you're watching it live, you get all 3 sectors, but here we get a breakdown of all 3 sectors. So you can see exactly where they are faster and where they are slower. So yeah, this is awesome. F1 Multiviewer, guys, if you've got access to it with F1 TV, absolutely highly recommend F1 Multiviewer. It is incredible. Now, I need to make a tweet. Does that take you to the stream? Excellent. So, sorry about that. Right. Yes, so thoughts on Lewis potentially going to Ferrari if Sainz is out? No. Short answer, no. I can't see Lewis Hamilton leaving Mercedes. I think it would be a mistake for Lewis Hamilton to leave the Mercedes team. It's his family. He's been with Mercedes since he was a child, because obviously he was a part of it when it was McLaren Mercedes. And yeah, I think it would be... I genuinely can't see him leaving to go to Ferrari, personally. And plus, I don't think Lewis at Ferrari would work. I think Lewis... Yeah, it just wouldn't work for him at Ferrari, unfortunately. There's too much at play that will negatively work against Lewis Hamilton, in my opinion. These amateurs are hurting us. What do you mean, these amateurs are hurting us? Are you on about the drivers making silly mistakes? It's hard to overtake, but this race might also be like Australia with more DNFs. I think there will be 5 DNFs. Yeah, true. Good point. One interesting thing, actually. I think the FIA got it wrong with these regulations here. I remember watching a video of Alison saying, if you think running a Formula 1 car in 18... yeah, fair point. It's definitely interesting. I noticed that Pirelli definitely got it wrong last year, I think, with the tyres, because last year you saw a lot of drivers struggling with understeer. It's certainly improved this year with the tyre aspect. We've seen a lot more tyre wear than we saw with the 13-inch tyres, which is maybe to be expected, because obviously these are much stiffer tyres. Like, because the wheels are much bigger, we've got less movement, so they are naturally much stiffer, which probably goes against what Formula 1 cars really like, unfortunately. But yeah, I understand what you're saying. Like, maybe they did get it wrong. I think that the aerodynamics are better than they were before, in terms of it allows drivers to get a bit closer. Yeah, Patrick, he absolutely has. Yeah, I think the rule book has certainly meant that the cars are a little bit better. There's a lot of things I'd like to see changed with these cars, though. I'm not a huge fan of some aspects of these cars. And it's mainly down to the weight and the size of them. They're way too big and they're way too heavy. I think there'll be 5 DNFs. I think there will be a lot of DNFs this weekend. Also, one point that's I don't think too many people have spoken about. Now, this qualifying session sets the grid. However, if drivers have big shunts in the sprint race and they have to come out of Parc Fermé, then in the Grand Prix, they will be starting behind Pierre Gasly. So there is a lot of intrigue going into this weekend. And we could see Pierre Gasly, even though he's right at the back, actually start a bit further up due to drivers having huge incidents in the sprint race. That is, of course, provided that Pierre Gasly himself doesn't have a huge incident in the sprint race, mind you. Who am I rooting for? I am a lifelong Ferrari fan. But I do try to be a bit more balanced. But overall, I'm a Ferrari fan. I grew up watching Michael Schumacher when I was a kid, and from there I became a huge fan of the Scuderia. Supported them pretty much throughout the entire time, which is why I'm bolding, because they are a complete stressful team to watch, because they are just terrible, but also brilliant at the same time. So Ferrari's who I actually root for, Bill. But I haven't got any issues. I'm not one of these that's like, oh, I therefore hate Red Bull or I hate Mercedes. I don't actually hate any team. I've had a life of pain. I have had more than a life of pain sporting the Scuderia. Things started off good when I was a kid. But for the last, 13 years, it's been painful. Can't lie. Yes. Also, good to see we got some other Scuderia fans in the chat. Anyway, let's get back to qualifying right now, because we are back once again underway, and we're right now looking at George Russell. We're looking at George Russell. Let's see what he can do this weekend. He's been a little bit quiet so far, has young Georgie boy. But right now, George, he's coming down now, the second DRS zone, right now in P15. Now, he's not really set a proper lap time yet, so it's going to be interesting to see if he can actually get a good lap time on the board. But if we have any more red flags, then it could be a disaster for the likes of George Russell right now. And also Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda. Also Carlos Sainz. Sainz is yet to get a time on the board. Sainz has to get a good lap on right now. Esteban Ocon right now 7/10 up on George Russell's previous lap time. So yeah, George Russell's lap time was definitely a banker lap. And he's got to go a lot faster. And that is exactly what it looks like he's doing so far. He's green sector 1. Let's have a look on the mini sectors. Where is Russell right now? Purple on a mini sector. Russell is a lot faster now than he was going beforehand. Here we go now into this tricky downhill left-hander. George Russell gets through there now. Into the final sector he goes. He's 4/10 down on Verstappen, but that's not bad. Alex Albon goes P3 in the Williams. Where the hell did Albon get that from? Perez goes fastest by 1/10 of a second from Max Verstappen. Hamilton now goes up to P4, but it's 3/10 off of Sergio Perez, who's right now top of the leaderboard. That is until Max Verstappen absolutely destroys the lap time that Sergio Perez does. Russell goes up to P6. And this is chaos. We've got no idea who is going where. Latte Boy gets himself up into the top 6. Tsunoda, P9 in the AlphaTauri. Alonso right now down in ninth, hard for me to say, down in 9th place. Sainz gets himself up to P7. What about, though, the Ferrari of Charles Leclerc? Where is he going to go? As Stroll now gets himself up to P7. Alonso down to P11. Where is Alonso? Alonso is about to finish a lap time. He's coming down turn 19. Through turn 20, Alonso is going to be the next man to cross the line. Where is Fernando Alonso going to be? Alonso now runs to the line. Alonso hit with a 1:40. A 1:42.4. Fernando Alonso, P7 right now. Ouch. That's a big yikes for Fernando Alonso there, down in P7. and 1 second away from the Red Bulls. Now let's take a look there. We've got an Alpine almost in the wall. Another Alpine almost hitting the wall. Alpine have had a very expensive weekend so far. And Ocon almost putting it in the wall there. We see here we've got Norris and the Aston Martin there of, I think that was Lance Stroll, and we've got a bit of a traffic jam here. What is happening? We can also see on the driver tracker we got Bottas and Joe and Piastri all coming up right behind Lance Stroll. That's interesting. So let's take a look then. Let's take a look at the top 10 right now, and let's see what we can see that's actually quite interesting. So we've got Max Verstappen on pole, in first place right now by 0.3 from Sergio Perez. Charles Leclerc is third. Lewis Hamilton fourth. Lando Norris an excellent P5, but as you can see on the F1 multi-viewer, you can see that Lando Norris has only got 2 laps on those tyres, which means that Lando Norris went on a new set of soft tyres, whereas the likes of Hamilton, Leclerc, Perez, and Verstappen all used sets of tyres. Alex Albon is 6th in the Williams, which is bloody incredible. And then we got Fernando Alonso in 7th, Lance Stroll in 8th, very close between those two Aston Martins. George Russell, Latte Boy, is currently P9, and Carlos Sainz is down in 10th place. Carlos Sainz, what on earth are you doing? Why are you down in 10th place, sunshine? Anyway, Sergio Perez on the used soft tyres now goes purple sector 1. He's setting purple mini sectors in sector 2 as well. And where is this going to put Sergio Perez now? He comes to the end of sector 2. He's purple in sector 2. Sergio Perez is absolutely flying right now. 2.5 tenths clear of Max Verstappen. Where is this going to put Sergio Perez? He has 2 yellow mini sectors, a 3rd mini sector in the final sector. Did he make a mistake? Has Sergio Perez made a mistake? We're going to find out now as he comes towards the line. Logan Sargent puts himself up to P7. And Sergio Perez, does he improve? Does he improve? He comes to the line. He's coming to the line now. Is Sergio Perez about to improve? No, he's gone into the pits. He's gone into the pits. Thank you, Sergio Perez. George Russell gets himself up to P4 there. So good lap there by Latte Boy himself, getting himself up to P4 right now with Yuki Tsunoda. Tsunoda, he's got to improve. He goes P8. He goes P8 right now. Let's have a look then. Who's on the bubble? We've got Valtteri Bottas, Zhou Guanyu, Kevin Magnussen, and then obviously Nick De Vries and Pierre Gasly, who are out of qualifying. Who's going to get themselves then through to Q2? Piastri drops down to P15. Is he going to make it through, or is Oscar Piastri going to be out of qualifying? He's right now on the bubble, but we got the 2 Alfa Romeos that are about to come across the line. Where does Valtteri Bottas go? Bottas goes P13. And what about Zhou Guanyu? Zhou Guanyu goes P15. Right now, Hülkenberg and Piastri are out. Piastri just gets himself through, and that means that the 2 Haas cars are out of qualifying. Where are they on the mini map? Yeah, that's it. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. Haas are out of Q1. And Alonso gets himself up to P3. And I missed it. I missed where Charles Leclerc went fastest. And I missed it. No. Oh, I missed Leclerc going fastest. Charles Leclerc fastest at the end of Q1. Fernando Alonso gets himself up to P3. Interesting. Very, very interesting. What about that? What do we all think of Q1 then? Did we all enjoy Q1 right there? P1 for Charles Leclerc, Max Verstappen P2, Fernando Alonso P3, Sergio Perez P4, and George Russell is right now in 5th place. That is very, very interesting. Wow. I did not anticipate that. I'm not going to lie. I really didn't anticipate that. I thought Red Bull were just going to run away with it. So to see that Charles Leclerc and Fernando Alonso have been able to beat 1 Red Bull, and Leclerc's been able to beat both Red Bulls. Yeah, that's very, very exciting. Why isn't Hamilton doing good? He's not doing bad. He's only 0.04 off of his teammates, and it's only Q1, so I wouldn't read into that too much. Also with Q1, as you can see, Hamilton and Russell did their, well, I guess all the top 6 all did their laps on used tyres. But, you know, they did do it on used tyres. We're yet to see the most from everyone yet, so I wouldn't be too worried right now about why Hamilton is where he is. We're about to see, actually, here's a replay for Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton, oh, he hit the wall. Hamilton hit the wall there at turn, I think that's turn 15, which might be why Hamilton didn't improve on his final lap. And they're going to snap of oversteer on the exit. So he just lightly brushed the wall. Not enough to do any real damage, but he did brush the wall. Just, I think it's a rear tyre. Yep, the rear tyre clips the wall there for Lewis Hamilton. And then on the exit of turn 16, a huge, huge snap of oversteer. And that is probably why Lewis Hamilton is where he is right now. Are there ads on F1 TV? No, there are no ads on F1 TV. Right now, I'm looking at Lewis Hamilton in the garage. So, no, we don't get ads on F1 TV, thankfully. It's not like Sky. So, yeah. Right, I'm just going to run to the toilet real quick because I've got a baby bladder. So, I'll be back in a second and we'll be back for Q2. So, I'll be back in 1 second, guys. Just 1 second. Right, huge apologies for that, guys. I've got a bit of a baby bladder. Can't be helped sometimes. That was a very long Q1 session. I did not anticipate Q1 taking quite that long. So is everyone enjoying this so far? Just want to ask, like I said, this is my first ever live stream, so just want to ask if you guys, are you enjoying this so far? It's something a little bit different to what I'm used to, and I definitely want to get into it and definitely do a lot more going forward. And I think we are going to do it, especially this weekend and next weekend being in Miami. It's going to be a very busy time on this channel. I've got a lot of video. Thank you, Bill. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, it's going to be a very busy time. Got a lot of videos to come your way. So just whilst we are in this lull period, just a bit of a heads up for what is to come. So when qualifying is over, I am going to go off and I'm going to make a data analysis video for what we learned in FP1 and also for what we have learned in qualifying. So a data analysis video, see what we can learn, which we could maybe use going forward for the Grand Prix and also in the sprint race. Then tomorrow on Saturday, I'm hoping to get that video up, I should say, either by tonight or early hours tomorrow morning. And then tomorrow we are going to be live, hopefully, for sprint. I'm going to try and maybe do the sprint qualifying and the sprint race. And then after the sprint race, we're going to make another data analysis video to see what we learned from sprint, which we're then going to use to try and predict what might happen in the Grand Prix. And for the Grand Prix itself, I think we might go live for the Grand Prix as well. Oh, Fernando Alonso. Oh, Fernando Alonso. Yeah, I'm enjoying Fernando Alonso this year. I'm really, really enjoying Fernando Alonso. Seeing him perform so well is, yeah, it's a good feeling. It's good to see Fernando doing well because he had some absolutely torrid years in Formula One. Like he had some huge struggles. So it's good to see Fernando doing well, and it's good to see him in a good car that can now show some of what Fernando Alonso is capable of. And he is capable of a lot, it has to be said. Is there any changes in Merck's car? Not yet. I believe the big changes are due to come... I believe the big changes are due to come with Mercedes in the next few races. Right now, I think it's only minor changes. The rumour is, I think the big change for Mercedes is around Imola, the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix at Imola. I think that's where we could see the big changes coming from Mercedes. If they come at all, there's no guarantee that they're actually going to make some huge changes this year. No guarantee. Just want to put that out there. It's good to see Alonso. It reminds us of the days when he was battling out with Schumacher. Remember Suzuka 05. Suzuka 05 is one of the most incredible races I have ever watched in my life. It's a race that I occasionally go back and watch because it's got good fun memories from when I'm a kid. It's that period of Formula One. That whole period of Formula One for me was unbelievable. Obviously, you had the screaming V10s. The racing was garbage. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Suzuka 05 was excellent, but a lot of the racing from that period was absolute garbage. But the cars looked incredible. They sounded incredible. And they looked fast. The biggest issue with these cars, in my opinion, is they don't look fast. They look slow. But yet they're faster than they were back in 2005. But they just look so much slower because they're so bloody big. Anyway, back to qualifying right now. We're on board with Fernando Alonso. Alonso there with a snap of oversteer on the exit of Turn 4. On the run now into Turn 5. Flicks it into the Turn 5, Turn 6 chicane. And then the run down now to Turn 7. Alonso goes purple Sector 1. He's currently purple in the mini sectors in Sector 2 as well. Fernando Alonso is on a bit of a charge. But of course, this is the first proper lap of Q2. And Alonso through the castle section now. Down Turn 11, Turn 12. On the run now to the back end of the circuit. Through the walled section. The walled city section, I should say. And now into this very tight, very tricky Turn 15. It's where Lewis Hamilton hit the wall in Q1. And Alonso manages to not hit the wall this time. Alonso, purple Sector 2. But his purple in Sector 1 has been taken by someone else. I imagine it's one of the Red Bull cars. Can't really see right now. But I think it's Sergio Perez. Now, Fernando Alonso on a run to the line. Where is this going to put Fernando Alonso? What sort of lap time is he going to do? Albon with a 1:42.203. Sargent with a 1:42.7. And Fernando Alonso with a 1:41.400. Lance Stroll cannot match Fernando Alonso. He's 8 tenths behind Fernando Alonso. Esteban Ocon currently goes P2. Latte boy George Russell goes second place. 6 tenths of a second behind Fernando Alonso. Lewis Hamilton goes third, a tenth of a second behind his teammate George Russell. But Sergio Perez, purple Sector 1, purple Sector 2. I think we're about to see Sergio Perez obliterate the lap time of Fernando Alonso. Here we go now, run to the line for Sergio Perez, and it's a 0.25 clear of Fernando Alonso. Max Verstappen right now is slower than teammate Sergio Perez. What can Verstappen do then? He's on the run to the line now. Exits Turn 20. It's a long, flat-out blast down the very long pit straight. And what can Max Verstappen do here? It's a run to the line for Verstappen. And Verstappen goes second. 0.062 behind Sergio Perez. It is right now game on between the two Red Bull drivers. But what can Ferrari do? We're yet to see what Ferrari can do right now. Carlos Sainz comes to the line. And is that Sainz starting a lap? Yes, it is. Carlos Sainz starting a lap here in Q2. And I imagine Charles Leclerc is about to do the exact same thing. Yep, Charles Leclerc is starting. I think F1 is getting boring because of Red Bull's domination. Yeah, I get what you mean. But on the flip side, we also sat through 7 years of Mercedes absolutely dominating. It is what it is. If you started watching F1 in 2021, then you probably got a false representation of what Formula 1 is like. In 2021 and 2022, especially for the first half of 2022, F1 was incredible. But unfortunately, this is Formula 1. This is what Formula 1 is really like. You do get periods of domination. Obviously, we had it with 7 years of Mercedes, 5 years of Ferrari, 4 years of Red Bull in between that as well, of course, with 2010 to 2013 with Sebastian Vettel. Although, of course, in 2012... we had one of the greatest world championships of all time. And 2010 was also one of the greatest world championships of all time. But yeah, we do get... Yeah, you did start watching in 2021. Yeah, sadly, that's a false representation of what the sport's like. You do get periods of domination, Bill. And sadly, we are in a period of domination. I do think teams will catch up. Because we will see other teams catch up. We will see Mercedes close up. We will see Ferrari. Aston Martin have done a brilliant job as well. So, don't be like bummed out by it. It just is something that happens from time to time. It's a very long season. I just hope it's not a full season of Red Bull domination. I don't care what Bill Lean thinks. Don't be like that, dude. Don't be like that, Stephen. If he's new to Formula 1 and he's used to it where it's probably been a bit more competitive than it is right now. So it's fully understandable that it's not always the most interesting. If you're a Red Bull fan, then you're probably loving it right now, to be honest. But if you're not a Red Bull fan, you might not be loving it so much. Me personally, I'm actually really enjoying it so far this year. I do think the races are a bit more boring than they were last year, but it's not because of Red Bull dominating. The races have been a bit more boring this year, just simply down to the fact that it is a bit harder for the cars to follow this year versus last year. It is what it is. F1 Dream Team, any two drivers, any one team from history, who you got? Oof, good question. Any two drivers? Jesus. I'm a huge Michael Schumacher fan. So I'm going to say Michael Schumacher as one of the drivers. Second driver. Hard to say. Very hard to say. Second driver, maybe. I don't think Lewis Hamilton and Michael Schumacher would make a great pairing. Just because of how Schumacher was with his ruthlessness and him making sure he was number one. But I would probably say Schumacher and maybe Alain Prost. I know some people would say Ayrton Senna as opposed to Prost. But again, same reason why I wouldn't go with Hamilton. Schumacher and Senna wouldn't work. Schumacher and Hamilton wouldn't work. But I think Schumacher and Prost would make a very good team. Any one team, I would say any one team in history. With modern aerodynamics, I would say the Colin Chapman Lotus, but with modern aerodynamics. Because Colin Chapman is one of the great F1 designers of all time. And for anyone who's a historical buff when it comes to Formula 1, or Bill, if you're newer to Formula 1, so you won't know who Colin Chapman is. Colin Chapman is one of the great designers of all time. And his Lotus cars are legendary. Of course, as Steven Seagal just said, MP4, you've got the McLaren, the classic McLarens. of the 1980s, maybe, with Senna and Verstappen. That would be a fire teammate. Senna Verstappen would be an absolute fire team. You've got two drivers who are willing to do whatever it takes to win. I think those two as teammates they'd probably crash into each other quite a lot. Not gonna lie, because both of them will just want that same piece of racetrack at the same time. But that would be incredible to watch, Steven Seagal. MP4 McLaren with Senna and Verstappen. That is a fire combination. Kimi and Lauda for Mercedes. Kimi Räikkönen in his prime. We've got to talk here prime Kimi Räikkönen, I assume. We're talking McLaren Mercedes era Kimi Räikkönen, right? So prime Kimi with Niki Lauda in the Mercedes. That'd be a good team. I like that one. That would be a very good team. Charles Leclerc right now, back to qualifying. Charles Leclerc right now goes top of Q2, just ahead of Sergio Perez. Vettel and Schumacher would be too dominant, Clive says. What team would they be on? What team? Give me a team. What team? What era? What team? Vettel and Schumacher would be a great team, I'm not going to lie. Expect prime Vettel, Red Bull era Vettel with Schumacher, Ferrari era Schumacher, I should say. Yeah, you got one hell of a team there. Not going to lie, Clive, I like that one. Started watching F1 in 2019. Excellent. What got you into it? Was it Drive to Survive? Ferrari 2000 to 2007. Yes. Good choice. Like your choice, Clive. Like it. Anyway, we've got a yellow flag in Sector 1. It's a Ferrari. It's a Ferrari that's off. Yellow flag, Sector 1, guys. It's a Ferrari. It is Carlos Sainz. Sainz, he's not crashed, but he has gone wide at turn 3. He's done what I said Nick de Vries should have done, which is he went down the escape, he went down the runoff, but Carlos Sainz running wide at turn 3, not enough to put him out of qualifying, thankfully for him. But Carlos Sainz, a big mistake then. Let's have a look now. We go on board on the replay with Carlos Sainz. Let's see what happens going into turn 3. Does he lock the inside tyre? He locks the outside. Very interesting. Drivers don't typically lock the outside going into that corner, but he locks the outside and went down the runoff. Carlos Sainz, very, very smart there to go down the runoff like he did. And we got, ooh, Alex Albon almost in the wall there. That looks like what? That looks like turn 6. And that's why he's trying to get past Carlos Sainz, as Sainz is going very, very slowly there. That almost put Albon in the wall. I'm sure Albon's going to be saying something about Sainz dawdling on the racing line there. But that was close as we're getting to the end of Q2. Q2's gone by like a blur. I have no idea what's happening. I've been too busy talking about dream teams that I sort of missed what's happening in Q2. What we got then right now. Let's see. Who is in the danger zone right now? We've got Logan Sargent P15, Valtteri Bottas P14, Oscar Piastri P13, Ocon P12, and Yuki Tsunoda is right now in P11. That's very interesting. Ocon P12. He's currently up. He's green in the middle sector. In the first sector versus where he was before. But yeah, Ocon's a bit further down than I thought he would be. Dove deep into the sport after seeing Rush in 2013. Awesome, Patrick. Awesome. Love it. Rush is an excellent film. For the newer F1 fans, if you haven't seen Rush, highly recommend it. Patrick there with a good drop there. Rush is a brilliant film. It's about Niki Lauda and James Hunt. And if you haven't seen it, it's excellent. It's one of the best racing films ever made. So yeah, just a good one. Good choice there, Patrick. I'm glad you said that. Do love Rush. Anyway, back to this now. Esteban Ocon, is he going to get out of Q2? The Alpine's porpoising there. The Alpine is porpoising. It's doing a lot of bouncing there. That's interesting. That's the first time we've really seen porpoising this weekend. And what is Ocon going to do? Ocon only P10. Ouch. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. I don't think Ocon is going to make it through to Q3, guys. I think Ocon's out. There's no way he's going to make it. What is Verstappen going to do now? Verstappen's on the run to the line. Sergio Perez dives into the pits. Verstappen, I think, is about to go and set a fastest lap. Here we go. Max Verstappen takes the lead of Q2 by 0.2 of a second. And is anyone going to knock Esteban Ocon out of qualifying? Piastri P8. Piastri knocks Esteban Ocon out of qualifying. Tsunoda P7. We've currently got George Russell down in P11. But Russell is going to make a run for the line. Is Russell going to get through? Russell's out. George Russell is out of qualifying, everyone. George Russell has not made it. Russell out of qualifying. I cannot believe it. We've got a Mercedes out. Lewis Hamilton is through to Q3, but his teammate George Russell is out of qualifying. That is unbelievable. Oh my God. He's out. Huge shocker. Mercedes. Yeah, Clive. Mercedes. That is unbelievable. Wow. Like, I'm genuinely in shock. Like, I did not expect that. George Russell out of Q2. Like, that's big. That is very big. Yeah, not sure what happened there. Not sure what happened. I guess he just didn't get the lap together, maybe? 0.004 off of being through. Oh, he threw the whole Sector 3, Clive. Thank you for that, because I have no idea, because I haven't got sound on. I haven't got sound on because I haven't worked out how to get it and not play through. So I'm hoping to have that sorted for tomorrow, so I can at least have a better idea of what's going on. So yeah, thank you for that, Clive. Much appreciated. Well, there goes your prediction, Patrick. There goes mine as well, because I had him through. I had him through to Q3, and I thought he was going to do very well. I thought Mercedes were going to do very well this weekend, but Lewis Hamilton P10 right now, George Russell P11, Lance Stroll P8, Fernando Alonso P5. That's interesting. Very interesting second qualifying session there. Not sure what is going to happen then. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Is Fernando Alonso going to take the fight to Carlos Sainz, do you think? Because I'm not going to lie, I don't think Fernando Alonso is going to be able to take the fight to Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, or Max Verstappen. I think it is between those three for pole and George, and then the fight between Carlos Sainz and Fernando Alonso is for 4th place. That's my prediction. I think the top 3 is going to be between Leclerc, Verstappen, and Perez. Let's see here then. We're on board. We've got a replay then of George Russell. What did he do? He got caught on the curb. Snap of oversteer going into turn 16. And then when you get caught, you got that snap of oversteer. It sent him over the curb. And that has absolutely ruined him. Because you get stuck on that curb. Beached on that curb. And when you're beached on the curb, that's it. You have no turning ability. And for George Russell, that's it. That's what did him in today. George Russell caught on the curb. And that is him out of qualifying. McLaren... Clive, I didn't believe McLaren when they said they had big upgrades. Yeah, me neither. Did not expect it to be that good anyway. That is brilliant by McLaren. Both cars through to Q3. It's going to be very interesting. I can't wait to do a data analysis deep dive on McLaren because I want to see if they've really improved their straight line performance, because I don't know if they have or if they've just got a lot more downforce, you know? So, once this is over, I'm going to get straight onto the data analysis deep dive, and we're going to have a look at Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri, and we're going to compare them to other fast cars in a straight line, so like Ferrari and Red Bull, and we're going to get a rough idea of where they are, and we're going to compare them to Aston Martin, because Aston Martin and McLaren have been comparable in straight line performance in the first couple of races, and, well, it's not impressive, not going to lie. So it's going to be interesting to see where they are now in terms of straight line performance. Favorite track to watch? In what sense, Bill? In what sense? Because in terms of my favorite race to watch, the British Grand Prix is almost always a great race, because it's a very interesting race, because it's a borderline 1 and 2 stop race. And so usually at Silverstone, you get you get some good racing, and then the tyre wear kicks in, and then you get some incredible racing. So that's one of them. Another one is, so a lot of people don't like the Circuit of the Americas, but I think the Circuit of the Americas produces good races in Texas. That produces great races year in and year out. Bahrain produces great races year in and year out. And Budapest can be a very good race. It's not always, but it can be a very good race. So, favorite track to watch is, it's a bit hard to answer. In terms of qualifying, I love watching the cars around. I love watching the cars around Saudi Arabia when it comes to qualifying, and I love watching them qualifying in Monaco, because Monaco and Saudi Arabia, when it comes to qualifying, for me, are elite. They are insanely good fun to watch, because it's tight walls, and it's just ludicrous that they get cars around those circuits. So it depends what you're saying. Qualifying, Saudi Arabia and Monaco. In terms of races, Bahrain, Silverstone, Circuit of the Americas, they produce great races. Spa or Suzuka for my favourite. Suzuka produces great qualifying sessions as well. It can produce good races as well, Patrick. You're right there. What happened to George? George made a mistake in Q2, so he was on the bubble of getting through to Q3, and unfortunately, going into turn 16, he got a snap of oversteer, and then that snap of oversteer meant that he got stuck on the curb, and it's an elevated curb on the exit of turn 16, and George was stuck on the elevated curb, and therefore couldn't turn, and lost a lot of time. So George Russell is out of Q2, and Q3 is about to get underway. Do you know the latest on Andretti? Nope, not got a clue. Not heard a single thing with Andretti. I think Andretti's about to get absolutely shafted by the F1 teams, to be honest, because they want to raise the amount of money required to join the sport. They want to up it from 200 million to 600 million, which is absolutely disgusting. So I don't know if we're going to get Andretti on the grid. I would like to see them on the grid, of course. I really want them to be an 11th team, but as of right now, I've not really heard anything. But the latest is not great, to be honest, in terms of them coming onto the grid. So here we are then. Q3 is underway. The fight for pole position for Sunday's Grand Prix. It's going to be a shootout, I think, between the two Red Bulls and Charles Leclerc. Carlos Sainz, if he can hook everything up, might just be able to get involved in the fight as well. It looks like the Aston Martin of Fernando Alonso is a little bit too slow this weekend, and that could be down to the drag levels of the Aston Martin. They have got lower drag rear wing this weekend at Aston Martin, But is it enough? It may very well not be enough for Aston Martin. Here we go then, we're on board with Max Verstappen. Verstappen, a slight kick of oversteer there at the end of turn 1. Into turn 2 he goes, beautifully hits the apex and gets a very nice exit from turn 2. And Sergio Perez, his teammate right now, on the mini sectors is absolutely flying. He's ahead of... Oh, sorry, pardon. He's ahead of teammate Max Verstappen right now. Perez goes purple in sector 1. Can Max Verstappen go purple in sector 2? No, he can't. Perez is right now ahead of teammate Max Verstappen. In sector 2 though, it looks like Verstappen has doing a little bit better than teammate Sergio Perez as we're looking at the mini sectors right now. Through the castle section goes Max Verstappen. Now, into turn 12. On the exit of turn 12, what is it looking like for Sergio Perez? Perez is up right now on his teammate as Sergio Perez exits sector 2. Charles Leclerc goes fastest in sector 1. So Leclerc now purple sector 1. But what can Verstappen do? Verstappen goes purple sector 2 ahead of teammate Sergio Perez. It's a run to the line now between Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen. What are they going to do for their first lap in Q3? Quality prediction, Max P1, Charles P2, Sergio P3. Possible? I think that's very possible. Let's see what happens then. It's Max Verstappen who takes provisional pole position from Sergio Perez by 1/10 of a second. What can Charles Leclerc do? Carlos Sainz is third. He's half a second behind Max Verstappen though. But what about Charles Leclerc? Leclerc goes P2 and he does an identical lap time. Charles Leclerc with an identical lap time to the 1,000th of a second of Max Verstappen. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That is incredible. Unbelievable. And Lewis Hamilton right now also P5 in the Mercedes. That is very good for Lewis Hamilton, given where Mercedes have been so far this weekend. It's good to see him getting up there. He could maybe take the fight then to Carlos Sainz. And right now we have got, Fernando Alonso 1.6 seconds down on his teammates. Sorry, not on his teammate, on on Max Verstappen. So what happens between Leclerc and Verstappen right now? They've got the same time, and therefore what that means is the driver who set the lap time first gets the position. So because Verstappen set the 140.445 first, Max Verstappen takes pole position, and Charles Leclerc is in second place. So yeah, when it comes down to identical lap times, it's all down to who sets it first, because technically they have a worse track than the person who sets it afterwards. So it comes down to who set it first. So I hope that helps explain what happened, Bill. So yeah, right now it means Verstappen's on pole and Leclerc is P2. Surprise Norris pole. If Lando Norris cuts some corners, then maybe, yes, he'll get a surprise pole position. But yeah, I don't think he is going to be getting a pole position here today. Here we go then, Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll, he's about to set a lap time. Fernando Alonso's first lap was absolutely shocking, by the way, guys. I don't know why he's 1.6 off of Max Verstappen. Lance Stroll is currently 0.6 off of Verstappen after one sector. That is terrible. What has happened to Aston Martin then? Aston Martin, in these cooler temperatures it looks like, is struggling for pace. I wonder then, the sun has gone in. You can see the clouds are all over the circuit as the sun is starting to set. And I wonder if this cooler track temperature is hurting Aston Martin a little bit more than their rivals. Because right now, where's that? Stroll is 1.2 down on Max Verstappen and Charles Leclerc. Aston Martin right now are absolutely sinking like a stone in these cooler track conditions. And this is going to be very important for the sprint race, because if this is what it's like in the sprint race, Aston Martin are really going to struggle in the sprint race. They may be okay in the Grand Prix, but right now they are struggling. Lance Stroll goes up to 7th place and is 1.5 seconds off of pole position. What on earth has just happened to Aston Martin? I think it is these cooler track conditions. I think these cooler track conditions is hurting the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll and Fernando Alonso, and that is why right now they are sinking like a stone. Fingers crossed for Leclerc. Joe, same dude. Absolutely same. Let's get someone other than Max Verstappen on pole position for a Grand Prix, please. Let's take a look here then. Oscar Piastri, he's about to finish a lap time. Let's take a look then. Where is Piastri right now? He is coming out the final couple of corners, and where is that going to put him? Where is that going to put Oscar Piastri right now? It looks like he is going to be P10. P10 for Piastri. Probably not a huge surprise. He did that on used tyres. That's interesting. So McLaren and Tsunoda opting for used tyres on their run then. Which, yeah, that's very, very interesting. They've gone for used tyres then on their final run. We're just getting a replay here then of the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll. Not sure why. Maybe I missed that. I might have missed whatever just happened there. We're back live now. We've got the Ferrari then of Charles Leclerc right behind Lance Stroll. It's going to be very important, I think, for Leclerc to build a gap to the Aston Martin there of Lance Stroll, because Ferrari is a lot faster right now than the Aston Martin. Aston Martin is struggling, and I think it might be down to these cooler track conditions, which we are now getting with it being so late in the day in Azerbaijan. Because, of course, they expected to have finished qualifying 25 minutes ago, so the sun is probably about to set here in Baku, and that's going to make things a lot more difficult. We're going to replay here of Fernando Alonso and the Mercedes. What's happening here? I don't know what happened there. Big lock up there for Fernando Alonso, almost running into the back then of the Mercedes there of Lewis Hamilton. As we get to look now at Charles Leclerc as he hunts for pole position. Let's take a look then on the mini sectors. What have we got for Charles Leclerc then here at this back end of qualifying? And right now, it looks like Leclerc is green so far in the first sector. Things are looking good for Charles Leclerc. He goes purple in one of the mini sectors as well. Is Leclerc? He's going purple. Is this going to be enough? As he ends sector 1, he goes purple. He's a 10th up on Max Verstappen right now. A beautiful sector 1 then for Charles Leclerc. But Sergio Perez is going even faster right now in sector 1. And is he going to be? Yes, he is. Sergio Perez also up by 0.5 tenth of a second on Charles Leclerc. Through sector 2 we go now with Charles Leclerc. Leclerc is green and purple. Things are looking very good right now for Charles Leclerc. Himself and Perez are ahead of Max Verstappen right now when it comes to the first sector. What about the end of sector 2 though? Is Leclerc green? He's purple in sector 2. Is Charles Leclerc. Leclerc now 2.5 tenths up on his lap against Max Verstappen and of course himself. Can Charles Leclerc take pole position here? It's a run to the line. Leclerc has got a bad exit then. He's got some yellow mini sectors, but purple now. And here comes Leclerc to the line. What's it going to be for Leclerc? It's going to be a 140.2, I think. It is a 140.203. Charles Leclerc on pole position right now. What can Sergio Perez do? Sainz a second down. Sainz a second down. Perez P3. What about Verstappen? Verstappen second. We've got a Charles Leclerc pole position here in Baku. Nobody else can do anything about that. That is Charles Leclerc on pole position. Fernando Alonso goes P6. Lewis Hamilton P5 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. What an incredible end to qualifying. For the first time this year, we got a Ferrari on pole position, and it is Charles Leclerc on pole position here in Baku. Max Verstappen P2, Sergio Perez P3, Carlos Sainz P4, Lewis Hamilton a brilliant P5 in the Mercedes, Fernando Alonso P6 in the Aston Martin, 1 second down on Leclerc, Tsunoda unbelievable P7, nope, sorry, just scrap that, he's not P7, he's P8, Lando Norris takes P7 from Yuki Tsunoda, so it's Tsunoda P7, Norris P7, Tsunoda P8, Lance Stroll P9, and Oscar Piastri rounds out the top 10. What a qualifying session. Ladies and gentlemen, Charles Leclerc takes pole position here today. What a session. What a session. Where did that come from? Where the hell did that come from? Oh, that's incredible. That is 0.18 up on Verstappen. It's not even by a small amount either. That is a decent chunk to be ahead of a Red Bull here at Baku. Absolutely unbelievable. Forza Ferrari, says Matty, and I agree. Forza Ferrari indeed. Forza Ferrari. Well done, Leclerc. Carlos Sainz, 8/10 behind. Where the hell has Sainz pace gone? What happened to... Leclerc almost hit the wall there. Let's take a look at that replay. How close was Leclerc? Did he hit the wall? He brushed the wall. Leclerc there took pole position by brushing the wall. Oh my god. That's incredible. What a qualifying session that was. Guys, if you enjoyed qualifying, please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, of course, I would really appreciate if you subscribe for more F1 content. We got Leclerc on pole position. That's unbelievable. That is absolutely unbelievable. Yeah. Where on earth did that come? Yeah, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since we got a Ferrari on pole position. It feels like it's been a very, very long time since we got a Ferrari on pole. Charles Leclerc, though, a brilliant driver. Very good around Baku, it has to be said. Of course, he took pole position in 2021 with a not very good Ferrari against the likes of Mercedes and Red Bull, and that was in 2021. 2022 pole position, and once again in 2023, Charles Leclerc on pole position. It's a hat-trick of pole positions for Leclerc in Baku. Absolutely unbelievable. Wow. I hope you guys enjoyed that, because I absolutely love that. Yeah, I can't wait to look at the data from this. I absolutely can't wait to look at the data. There's so much data to look at for this qualifying session, I think. And yeah, I can't wait to take a look at it. Yuki Tsunoda, shout out to Yuki Tsunoda as well. Yes, man, you are right to put that for Tsunoda. Tsunoda, P8 in the AlphaTauri. Incredible session. Leclerc World Drivers' Championship comeback. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, not sure about Leclerc World Drivers' Championship comeback. He's got a long way to go. He's currently P10 in the Drivers' Championship, but with that, we could see a great race in the Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton there, unsurprisingly, taking a look at that Ferrari and thinking, how on earth did that happen? Crofty screamed at the top of his lungs. Clive, I just screamed at the top of my lungs. I was so desperate for a drink that I was so desperate for a drink I almost like stopped because I couldn't talk. That is brilliant. What a qualifying session, guys. That was an incredible qualifying session. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I really did. Yeah. I think I'm going to get going soon, guys, because I really need to make a start on this video. But, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this little stream. It's been nice to do. It's been so much fun, and I've absolutely adored hanging out with you guys. So, thank you all so much for this. It's been a pleasure. It really has been a pleasure, and I thank you all so much for sticking around chatting, hanging out in the chat. It has been brilliant. Never done it before, so to have you guys around to do it, it means a lot to me. So thank you all so much. And just a little preview for what's to come. I know I've said it a few times, but if you have missed it, I just want to say we have got, right now, I'm going to be looking at the data, and I'm going to be producing a data analysis video from Friday. And from that, we're going to see what we learned from practice and qualifying, which could be useful for the sprint race and the Grand Prix. And then tomorrow, we are going to be live once again for the sprint race and hopefully the sprint qualifying as well. And then from there, we're going to make a video on data analysis from sprint. And then on Sunday, we're going to be live for a live stream of the Grand Prix. So guys, I really hope you've enjoyed this. And if you have, as always, comments, leave a like and subscribe for more F1 content. Thank you all so much for watching. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.